So about a week ago, when I got to sit down and have a chat with Rebecca and Megan, Rebecca had this to say about a so-called secret item that was coming with the Jade Shadows Constellation update.
There is a secret in this update that players will discover, and there's something very sentimental and special that you can uncover if you play through the content and experiment and just believe in one of the items. Yes.
So we now know that item is, of course, Warframe, which we all get after completing the Constellation quest, but you have to go and pick it up first. So after completing the quest, you have a new relay called Pontis Tower. You can get to this by going to your star chart, selecting Railjack, and then going to Uranus Proxima. And when you enter the relay, you can then fast travel to Hunhow, and he is now a vendor. The great and terrible Hunhow now has great and terrible wares for you to buy. At the bottom of his inventory is Hunhow's Trinket Blueprint. It costs 12 Emerald Talents and 12 Crimson Talents, which are the new currency for running the Proto Garuda and the Proto Ash missions on that, or from that relay. Once bought, you can then go back to your foundry and you can craft that trinket, and you now have Warframe. I think there's a 12-hour build time, which isn't too bad, but it is awesome because War was a huge addition years ago with Stalker and Hunhow, and it has that sentimental, I guess, attachment to it, but it is still an impact-based greatsword, which I don't think it should be. It looks like it should be slashing you open with those kind of laser blades on it, but it isn't. It's impact, so it is what it is. It looks like just an okay weapon. Now, on top of this, you can also get the Prex card for Sirius and Orion in that Pontis Tower relay as well. When you spawn into the relay, you go up the stairs and then you will turn left towards Sirius. You will see him standing in the corner. Then you go round the corner and you will see a portal, but you don't go into the portal. You will basically jump on top of it, and that is where the card is. It is just sitting there waiting for you to pick it up. Now, while you're in that relay, you can also then go back to where you first entered the relay, go to the opposite side, where Vina or Proto Garuda's ship portal is, and again, don't go into the portal, but on the window ledge beside that portal is a Garuda lore fragment, one of 4 fragments that you have to find. For the other 3, you're going to have to jump into the portal. Now, when you're inside the portal, there is another fragment here on top of this barrel. Then there is another one outside that room on the landing pad behind a box on the other side, on the far left side. And then the 4th fragment is back in the first room where you came in from the portal, on top of the actual portal on the left side of this wall beam. That's all 4 fragments for Garuda's lore. But first we have to find the other 2 secrets, which are the Vina and the Ryoku Signas, the Karotic and the Kaizen Signa, which requires you to interact with certain objects in the correct order when you're on either of their ships. So, for both of these Signas, you need to run the missions on their ships. So you need to hunt down Ryoku or you need to hunt down Garuda. And while doing that, you need to get past the initial Railjack phase and the smaller tileset parts. So for Vina's Signa, it's after the Aura Worm part, and for Ryoku Signa, it's after the drop pod segment. That's when you fully board their ships. Now for Vina's Signa, you need to interact with the 5 terminals in the order that I'm going to show you. It is pretty simple. Just make sure that you click the terminals because they can be a little bit weird. For Vina's ship, once you first spawn into it, around the corner on your right hand side is where the first button is going to be. And then once you get that and you click on it, you're going to go through the door and you're going to jump up to your left hand side. And then you're going to go through that door and you're going to hit the button that will be there in front of you. Now, once you come out of that room, you're going to again be going around to your left. You're going to go all the way to the end of this hallway. And when at the end of this hallway, on the right hand side is another hole in the ground for you to drop into. And the button is right there on the right hand side. Then come back out, go to your left again. And when you go into this room, drop down on your left, and there is, again, another button for you to push. Just be, like I said, be aware that you have to actually click on them. And the final button is around in the room on your left. The water is going to drain, this door is going to open, and you're going to have free pathway all the way to pick up that Vina Signa. Now, for Ryoku's Signa, you're going to have to shoot targets on your way to the boss room. So don't enter the boss room until you have this picked up. But at the same time, you can use your Warframe with a weapon, or you can use your Operator Drifter, whichever you want. However, just be aware that if you're using a Warframe, Ryoku's ship has a lot of traps coming out from underneath the ground, and they are a pain in the absolute ass. Now, the first target that you have to shoot on Ryoku's ship is around the corner on your right-hand side when you first spawn into it. After that, just follow what I'm doing. Shoot every target on the way. Use your operator or use your Warframe with a weapon, whichever you choose. Just be aware that when you're on Ryoku's ship, there is a lot of traps, a lot of things that will slow you down, pop up out of the ground and knock you on your ass. Prime sure-footed be damned. And I got hit by a lot of them, but it is relatively simple and straightforward. Just keep dashing all the way through to the end until you shoot the final target, and then the door will open and the Signa for Ryoku will be in front of you as well before you enter the boss room. Now, as for the Garuda actual lore fragments, I think they're really cool. There's some really good lines in it as well, but I'm going to put the fragment text up on screen, and you can pause the video and you can read it, and you can let me know what you think at the end in case you're someone who isn't really interested in going around picking up the fragments. But the short version is this: Garuda was never supposed to be Garuda. There was an Orokin executor wanted a Warframe made for her own consort, not as a soldier and not as some kind of hero, but as more of a kind of lavish pet. Now, the Archimedean building this Warframe saw what was really happening, and instead of allowing this to happen, she decided to take action herself. She already watched the executor's servants rip feathers from living birds just to decorate her room. Beautiful on the outside and absolute cruelty on the inside, which is pretty much what the Orokin were. And she realized that the executor's consort was next. He was going to be stripped of himself, twisted into a Warframe, and left alive as another Orokin trophy. So instead of giving the executor what she wanted, the Archimedean made a choice. She used the Garuda serum on herself. She became Garuda, and not because she thought she would survive, not because she was, I guess, having some kind of heroic moment, but because it was the only freedom that she had left. She knew that she was probably going to be discarded as well, and the executor wanted blood, she wanted madness, she wanted a beautiful assassin, and in the end, she did get one. She got the Archimedean as Garuda instead. But there is a line from it that I really liked, and it's: I have been used all my life, caged by these proud golden birds, but in accepting this bitter blessing, I will finally fly free. What do I care if my freedom lasts no longer than the dawn? I shall know it, taste it in all of its fleeting reality. I am no Orokin. I will not leave them tormented and twisting, beaks gaping, gasping and screaming. I will bring decisive death, swift and sweet, final. The executor will have her assassin, but not the one she imagined. They will break down the door, Garuda will unfurl her claws, and the crimson thirst, it shall be legendary. I shall stride through her hall, clotted with gore and feathers. I wonder how many I will slaughter before they take me down. I wonder if one of them will be her. The executor wanted blood, and she shall have it. And I'm not going to lie, there's an element to that gives me kind of Orden Karas vibes of, I guess, rebelling, trying to kill the Orokin, trying to, I guess, bring as many of them down as they can before they themselves get killed. And I kind of like that side of Warframe's lore. It's kind of the reason why I like Orden Karas as much as I do, and I wish that he was a frame in the game. But let me know in the comment section below what you think of the lore fragments, what you think of Garuda's lore. Also, hopefully this video helped you out. I tried to keep it as short and sweet and concise as I possibly could, while also keeping it easy to follow. Have a great day, have a great week, and as always, thanks for watching.